Wild, right? Wanted to make this video because so many of you mentioned this bass in the video that I made the other day. I've got another one of these and I've talked about it before on the channel, but it looks like so many of you hadn't seen one of these before, that I wanted to just talk about it for a bit because it's such a unique bass. I think that it's maybe one of the, if not the most iconic 80s bass. I don't know, definitely in the top 3. Let me know what you think in the comments. Is there any that tops this in terms of the iconic 80s bass? Like, just like, look at the shape of it. It's like a freaking you know what I mean? It's so good. And there's so many unique features. Obviously, this thing here is the one that that sticks out the most. I'm going to cover what that is. But there's a bunch of other, like how the neck's made, the electronics, the pickups, the bridge. Look at this thing here. It's the whole thing's freaking outrageous. So let me just tell you about the bass. It's called a Kubicki Ex Factor. A Kubicki Ex Factor. And the first time I saw one of these getting played was from Stu Ham, on his old Hot Licks videos that he did back in the day. I think it was Alan. Shout out to Alan Roth, who was running Hot Licks, and Stu Ham did this incredible video, and it was like a blue sunburst thing. It was awesome, and I can remember being a kid seeing that video for the first time, and I was just obsessed with this instrument because not only did it look incredibly kind of like stand out, it also sounded incredible as well, which they do sound incredible. Even like their freaking side dots are awesome. Look at these. Anyway, so yeah, Kubicki Ex Factor. It's a 4-string, designed by Philip Kubicki, who's not with us any longer. He started out, I think, working for Fender back in the day, and then set up on his own, I think in the early 80s, and then this was released in 1985. And I'll just take you through a bunch of features which are different from all of the basses. And then we'll definitely talk about this thing here, which is wild. And I don't know why more people don't do these. Anyway, so the first thing is it's a 32-inch scale bass, but not that you'd ever know. Like, I actually, when you play it, I've played a lot of 33-inch scale basses. Like, I've had a couple of Federas that were 33-inch scale, and they actually felt a little smaller when you held them, but for whatever reason, this doesn't. It actually feels like a regular 34-inch scale bass. I think it's because of the positioning of the neck. So if you've played an alembic before, you'll have felt that even though that's a 34-inch scale, it actually feels like a slightly longer scale bass because of especially on the Series 1 and Series 2 basses, because of where the neck's positioned, right? I think on this, again, the neck's slightly pushed that way because of where the bridge is, like all of this down here. It pushes the neck slightly this way. So even though it's a 32-inch scale, feels like a regular 34-inch. Okay, so that's the first thing to point out. More on the neck is, I think it's let me have a look. Yeah, 7.5-inch radius. So I've got the details down here. 7.5-inch radius on the fingerboard. So it's got like not a vintagey feel. It still feels super modern, but it's like a very friendly feeling radius. The lower the radius, the rounder the board. You know what I mean? So 7.5-inch is like traditional Fenders. If you look at more modern instruments, you're probably getting into the 13, 14, and sometimes like 16-inch radiuses where the fingerboards are flattening off, right? But this has got like more of a traditional feel to it. It definitely still feels super modern though. No fret dots, but it has got these cool, I don't know what you call them, you know what I mean, like these things down the side of the fretboard. Another really interesting feature is that it's got a laminate neck. Can you see this? It's got a laminate neck. And I've got another one of these basses that's just on loan at the minute. And these are the only two I think I've ever played. Maybe I've played a few more. But what I will say is the necks always seem incredibly rock solid, like just incredibly like sturdy. And one of Phil Kubicki's I guess design, one of the things that he was trying to do with the design was come up with a really stable neck, but that was made out of wood and not the more expensive graphite or carbon options and there were plenty of those in the 80s. So that's why he landed on the laminate neck, and they really work. Like they're so incredibly stable. I never have to adjust this ever, and I also don't think I ever have to tune it either. Like, I know that sounds pretty outrageous. I don't think I had like a little twiddle with the E string just earlier, and it was like I was like, oh whoa, I don't think I've ever tuned this before. It's so stable, it's outrageous. So that's kind of all the neck stuff, except this, which I'll leave to a little later on because there's a lot to talk about here. Next up are the pickups. They're in-house pickups made at Kubicki. Stuff I like about them is that they're radiused. You know me, I like a good radius pickup, and that's because I like the pickup like under my fingers as I'm playing, and I think that that's just beautiful. They've also got these, they just look cool. They've got like these little, I don't know what these are, kind of like beveled edges and stuff like that. Love that. And then you get to the bridge, which is a whole thing, right? I will also say I've never restrung one of these. I should do it. Not because it's got dead strings, I just want to understand how to restring one. I get the feeling, I haven't had to mess with the setup of this at all, but I get the feeling that you'll be able to get an incredibly low action on these because it's low anyway. Yeah, it's just... in terms of the electronics, there's, again, as you'd expect, some unique stuff going on. So there are 5 knobs, right? Because these are stacked, right? So you've got a stack knob here, which is volume on the top, and then you've got a pan between the 2 pickups on the bottom. Okay, so just a quick demo of that. This is all on the neck. In the middle. Then you got the bridge, which is more of a, as you'd expect, like more of a sharper tone on it. So I'm just going to put it back in the middle for that. Then on here we've got a stacked treble and bass. The top is the bass, the bottom is the treble. So that's bass all the way up. Really beautiful, actually. You won't hear it on this is the camera on my phone. There's the treble on the bottom, and then you've got this selector switch, which is super cool, actually. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6, it's a rotary 6 selector knob. All the way clockwise is muted, super cool. next one along is active and flat. So what I'll do, let me just put it on both pickups. So this is active and flat. Okay, so that's active and flat. Then you've got the next one along, which is active, but with a mid-cut. Mid-cut, wait a minute, let me get this right. Mid-cut bass boost. So we'll come back to that one, that's probably going to be great for slap. Then you've got passive, flat, drop in volume obviously. Then you've got passive with a mid-cut. And then, I can't remember what the next one is. Yeah, so for me when I'm using them, generally I'll use the first two. So not the mute obviously, but the active flat and then the active with the mid-cut and bass boost. And with that, you can get this incredible, so this is with the bass boost and the mid-cut. But then if I also bring in some treble, and then also some bass there, you go. And then a bit more bass. So good, so good. Anyway, so it's got like these incredible slap sounds in it as well. And then, okay, so then this thing here, right? So what the heck is this thing? So this is like an extender. So how you'd, the first time I've seen these kind of things was on upright bassists, especially in orchestras, might have an extender key. And this works the same way. What you've got is, so with this thing in here, if you look like this, you've got this like this key, or a lever that lifts up, which means you can go from a open E to an open D. Can you see how I'm pushing it with my thumb there? Okay, and then if I pull down the string, let the lever go back, now it's open D. Now you might be thinking, well, just get a D tuner, but check this out. Not only have we got these frets down here, all the way up, right? So if we're in E flat, right? So we can play that E flat down there, which sounds incredible. Not only that, but all of the other notes, here's the key thing, all of the other notes on the E string stay in the same place. So on a D tuner, when you you hit that D tuner, all of the notes on the E string change, don't they? They all change by a whole step. So you've kind of got to rewire your mind. Whereas on this bass, everything stays the same. All your octaves are in the same place. And then to get it back, you just go, and then you're back to E. So, yeah, an incredible bass, the Kubicki Ex Factor, and they're a freaking cool bass. They're a cool bass. I think there should be, more of these getting played. Again, they've got like a really unique sound, and they definitely influence the way that you play bass, the lines that you choose, and all of that kind of stuff. I absolutely love them. Definitely going to be using this more on the channel. And yeah, that's it. Kubicki Ex Factor.